When the storm of green rage crashes into the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, the endless war for survival meets unstoppable fury. The Hulk lands in a universe where there is only war, no heroes, no hope, only battle. Every galaxy-spanning empire, every champion of the grim future, they all thought themselves invincible, but they never faced him. Worlds crumble under his footsteps. Battles that spanned hundreds of years end in a heartbeat. Imperial titans, Daemon legions, Xenos fleets, all fall before one green fist and one unbreakable will. What happens when the strongest force of nature collides with the most brutal war machine in existence? What becomes of heroes when their gods are shattered? This is not just a fight, this is the reckoning. Brace yourself, because when the Hulk fights Warhammer 40,000, no one is safe. In the cold, dark future, there is only war. For 10,000 years, humanity has survived through faith, fear, and fire. But on this day, something enters the galaxy that no prophecy, no psyker, and no god could foresee. A rift tears open above the Cadian gate, not the warp's usual corruption, but something raw, primal, and alive. From within the swirling madness, a single figure falls. He hits the ground like a meteor. Shock waves flatten entire battalions. Tanks flip like toys. And when the dust clears, the soldiers of the Astra Militarum behold a creature the size of a dreadnought, skin like emerald iron, eyes burning with anger, older than stars. The Emperor protects, one whispers. The creature turns. His voice is a growl that shakes the planet. Hulk is angry. Before anyone can react, the green giant moves. A lemon rust battle tank fires point blank. The shell detonates against Hulk's chest. He takes one step forward through the explosion, grabs the tank by its turret, and smashes it into another. To the soldiers, it's not a battle, it's extinction. The Imperial Vox networks scream for help. Orbiting fleets detect seismic readings that shouldn't be possible. Within hours, the High Lords of Terror themselves hear the word spreading through the stars. A green monster has landed on Cadia. In the Eye of Terror, the Chaos Gods stir. Khorne, the Blood God, laughs. At last, a being of pure rage that rivals even his might. Nurgle wonders if such fury could decay into despair. Slaanesh craves the sensation of unbridled destruction. And Suntish, ever the schemer, sees the fall of empires in this anomaly. They reach out through the warp, sending daemons and champions to test the beast. They fail. In a single swipe, Hulk tears through the warp-spawned armies as though they were shadows. The ground splits for miles. The air burns. Even Khorne's laughter falters. Within weeks, Hulk becomes a myth across the Imperium. Some worlds call him the Green Angel of Death. Others call him the Punisher of Chaos. He doesn't seek conquest. He doesn't speak of glory. He only smashes everything that stands in his way. Space Marine chapters are deployed to contain him. The Ultramarines, proud and disciplined, encircle his landing site. Their Primaris captain demands surrender. The Hulk looks at them, almost confused. "You want to fight?" he growls. "Fine." He leaps into the air, higher than any jump pack could dream, and comes down like a comet. When he lands, the earth itself screams. Ceramite armor shatters, bolters melt from shockwaves. In that single strike, an entire company disappears beneath a crater. The Imperium of Man has faced tyrannids, orcs, daemons, and heretics, but never before has it faced pure, infinite rage. And Hulk is just getting started. The galaxy burns, world after world falls silent. Not to plague, not to heresy, but to something far older and simpler. Rage. The Hulk's wrath has no direction, no politics, no strategy. He moves like a storm, unthinking, unstoppable, unending. Every strike reshapes the battlefield. Every roar drowns out the prayers of billions. Imperial tacticians try to predict his path. They fail, because the Hulk doesn't plan. He reacts. He smashes until there's nothing left to smash. On Macragge, home of the Ultramarines, The Primarch Robot Guilliman returns from his war council to find his fleets burning. Reports flood in. A green creature has torn through a dozen star systems, crossing void space with impossible leaps between worlds. Guilliman orders full mobilization. His fleets form a blockade, Titans deploy, orbital cannons prepare, and then the Hulk arrives. He falls from the void like a meteor wreathed in fire, slamming into the planet's surface. The shockwave levels entire mountain ranges. The first wave of Space Marines open fire. Hundreds of bolters, plasma rifles and melter guns converge on one target. When the smoke clears, Hulk is still standing. He's not just angry, he's furious. And fury in this universe bends reality. He rips apart a Warhound Titan with his bare hands. He hurls one of its legs into orbit, piercing a battle barge like a spear. When Guilliman himself descends, clad in the armor of fate, the world trembles under the weight of two demigods colliding. The Primarch fights with precision and divine purpose, each strike of his blade guided by centuries of war. But Hulk doesn't fight with form, he fights with truth. Every punch carries the strength of his pain, his loss, his endless rage. Guilliman's armor cracks, his sword shatters, the Primarch of Order falls to his knees, bleeding starlight. Hulk towers over him. Blue Man talks too much. The final blow sends Guilliman hurtling across the planet, unconscious, alive only because Hulk decides not to finish it. Word spreads through the galaxy like wildfire. The Emperor's son was defeated by a creature with no master, no plan, no mercy. The Adeptus Mechanicus begins worshipping Hulk as an unclassified god machine. The Ecclesiarchy brands him the Green Heresy. Millions begin praying, not to the Emperor, but to him. The warp quakes. Khorne roars in fury, demanding vengeance. He sends forth Angron, his daemon Primarch, burning with the blood god's blessing. Chains of brass wrap around Angron's arms as he descends from the warp, screaming for war. The sky over Armageddon ignites as two titans collide. Each strike shakes the atmosphere. Mountains crumble, oceans boil. But Angron's fury, though godlike, is finite. Hulk's infinite. When the dust settles, Angron's body lies broken, his daemon essence ripped from reality, scattered across the warp. And somewhere, deep in the Imperium, Khorne finally understands. The Hulk is not his champion, he is his rival. The warp trembles, reality shatters, and for the first time since the birth of chaos, the gods themselves know fear. The Hulk has done what no mortal or daemon ever could. He's broken the balance. Khorne's rage, Sinch's schemes, Nurgle's decay, Slanesh's hunger, all of it collapses under one impossible truth. There is something stronger than chaos. The Eye of Terror opens wider than ever before. 1,000 daemon worlds burn red as Khorne's armies march. At their center, the blood god himself manifests, a mountain of skulls, rivers of boiling ichor, an aura of pure hatred that would annihilate a planet by presence alone. Across the void, Hulk rises from the ashes of Armageddon. His skin is cracked with energy, glowing green fire pulsing through his veins. Each breath he takes distorts the ground, warping it between real space and the warp. He leaps across worlds, across the Imperium itself, and collides with Khorne in a storm of fury and sound. Planets crumble, stars flicker out. The gods of war scream in unison. Khorne bellows, "I am rage, I am blood." Hulk's reply is a snarl that tears through dimensions. Hulk is strongest there is. Their fists meet. The warp itself convulses, a ripple that erases entire daemon legions, unmaking their existence like dust in wind. Khorne's skull throne cracks, and for the first time in eternity, the blood god bleeds. Sint tries to intervene, weaving webs of infinite possibility. He opens a million timelines where Hulk falls, where rage collapses into exhaustion, but in every single thread, Hulk wins, because no plan, no future, can outthink raw will. Slaanesh sends waves of psychic agony, beauty twisted into torment. Hulk answers with a roar that breaks her illusions, shattering the senses of every daemon who hears it. Nurgle reaches out, spreading rot and despair across the stars. But decay cannot touch what never stops growing stronger. Each infection he casts, Hulk absorbs his regeneration, turning poison into power. One by one, the Chaos Gods falter. Their realms flicker, their thrones melt, and then the warp falls silent. On Terra, the Emperor feels it, across the golden walls of the Imperial Palace, through the webway, across eternity. His eyes open, the Astronomicon flickers. The greatest psychic in human history rises from his throne, bones glowing with divine light. He steps into the void, meeting the Hulk face to face. For a long moment, neither moves, the Emperor of mankind, and the immortal rage. Then the Emperor speaks. "You would unmake what I built." Hulk looks down at him, voice calm, ancient, tired. Hulk doesn't break for fun. Hulk breaks what hurts others. The Emperor studies him, then slowly nods. "Then perhaps, monster, you are what humanity needed, not a god, but a reminder." Hulk turns away, his massive frame fading into the void. Behind him, the Emperor's light flickers, not in fear, but in peace. The Chaos Gods are silent. The galaxy is free. And somewhere, beyond time, a voice echoes through creation. "Hulk, strongest there is." The galaxy has gone silent. No daemons whisper from the warp. No heretics chant their madness to false gods. Even the endless screams of dying stars have quieted, as if the universe itself dares not disturb the one who ended chaos. The Hulk. Once he was a rage incarnate, a monster born from pain and power. Now he is something else, something beyond mortal, beyond divine. Across the void, his presence radiates like green fire. Worlds that once prayed to the Emperor now tremble beneath new words Hulk protects. At first the Imperium resists. The ecclesiarchy brands him a heretic, a false god risen from blasphemy. But when the Inquisition sends a fleet to destroy him, the fleet never returns. A month later their ships reappear drifting through space, engines intact, crews unharmed. Every surface inside the vessel bears a single symbol burned into the metal, a great green fist, and scrawled beneath it, in letters carved by impossible strength, "No more war." Hulk moves across the galaxy like a walking storm of peace. On hive worlds where the strong once devoured the weak, he tears down the spires of the noble houses, and builds open fields for the hungry to grow food. On forge worlds the Mechanicus trembles as he rips open their machine temples, not to destroy but to show them the stars beyond their prisons. "You make machines," he says, voice low and thunderous, "but forget people. The Skitare need, not in worship, but in understanding." Even the orcs, those born of battle and chaos, feel his shadow across the void. Their war bosses below, claiming the Hulk is the ultimate green, the biggest, meanest, greenest boy in the universe. And when Hulk lands among them, their war cries turn to silence. He doesn't kill them, he simply looks at them. And the each energy itself collapses, their psychic madness dissolving under a will greater than their own. For the first time, orcs feel something alien to them. Calm. They call him Da Hulk's Wordbreaker, and wherever his footfalls echo, the galaxy grows quieter. On Terra, the High Lords meet in fear. Guilliman, healed but humbled, returns to the Imperial Palace. He stands before the Golden Throne, where the Emperor sits in silence. "Father," he whispers. "What is he?" The Emperor's eyes flicker open, twin suns dimmed by something even he cannot define. "He is balanced, my son, the wrath that ended the wrath." And far away, on the edges of the galaxy, Hulk stands alone on a desolate world, watching the sunrise over alien horizons. For the first time, he feels no anger, only peace. Yet deep inside, the faintest ember still burns, not fury, but purpose. The universe has quieted, but peace, like rage, never lasts forever. Peace, in the 41st millennium, a word long forgotten, but now, I whispered again, not by priests, not by saints, but by survivors. Across the galaxy a new order rises, not born from conquest, but from the aftershock of one man's fury. The Imperium lies fractured, but not destroyed. The Emperor's light still flickers upon Terra. Yet beyond the cradle of mankind, another power grows, green, immense, and incorruptible. The galaxy calls it the Green Imperium, and at its heart stands the Hulk. He never asked to rule, he never asked to lead, but in a universe of war, even peace becomes rebellion. Worlds once ruled by fear now follow him out of hope. Human, Xeno, and even machine united not by ideology, but by survival. When disputes arise, Hulk appears walking from orbit with the sound of thunder in his wake. "Stop fighting," he says simply, and they do, because no weapon, no army, no god dares challenge him anymore. In time, others rise beside him. Adeptus Astartes, once loyal to Guilliman, now call themselves the Green Guard. Their ceramite armor repainted in emerald and black. Each marine vows to protect life instead of taking it. They patrol worlds ravaged by centuries of bloodshed, rebuilding what they once destroyed. From the ruins of Mars, the Adeptus Mechanicus reform into a new brotherhood, the Techno-Green Covenant. They use Hulk's raw energy as a template for limitless clean power. For the first time in 10,000 years, the forges burn not for war, but for creation, and across the stars, those who once hunted the weak now rebuild for them. Hive cities open their gates, agricultural worlds flourish again, the galaxy long chained by death begins to breathe. But even paradise has shadows. The ecclesiarchy refuses to yield. To them, Hulk is a false god, an abomination standing where divinity should rule. Fanatics gather on Terra, led by firebrand cardinals who call for the cleansing of the green heresy. They preach that only the Emperor can save mankind, that Hulk is the end times given form. When they send fleets to strike his new worlds, Hulk doesn't retaliate. He stands before the oncoming armada alone, a green figure against the void. The ships open fire, millions of tons of plasma and nuclear flame raining down upon him. The explosions consume whole continents. For hours, the bombardment continues. And when the fires fade, he's still standing, unmoved, unharmed. He looks into the stars, eyes filled not with rage, but sorrow. Hulk tried peace, he says quietly. But peace is too small for this broken galaxy. The Green Imperium holds, but whispers begin again. Old powers stir in the shadows of forgotten dimensions. And somewhere deep in the warp's ashes, something moves. Not chaos reborn, but something new, something born from the fragments of gods. Hulk destroyed. The galaxy knows peace, but peace is never still, even in silence. Echoes remain, and from the corpse of chaos, something new begins to stir. The warp, once wild and hungry, is now empty. Without its gods, it drifts like a wounded beast, restless, incomplete, a void, searching for meaning. And into that emptiness, something impossible begins to form, a reflection, a shadow, born from Hulk's own rage. The warp remembers him, every roar, every strike, every fracture in reality left behind by his fury. And like all things touched by power, it imitates, it creates. A green storm brews within the Imperium. It whispers with Hulk's voice, it moves with his strength, but it feels nothing. The galaxy will come to call it the warp storm. Hulk. On the edge of known space, strange phenomena begin. Entire fleets vanish into emerald light. Astropaths lose their minds, ranting of two Hulks, one of flesh, one of fire. The skies twist into green auroras that scream with the echoes of his fury. Hulk feels it before anyone else. Standing upon the rebuilt plains of Cadia, he looks to the heavens as the stars begin to flicker. He knows, it's not chaos returning, it's him. Or rather, everything he tried to leave behind. He slams his fists together, the sound echoing across systems. Enough. The shockwave alone tears open space, and from that rip steps the other. The warp storm Hulk towers above him, wreathed in green lightning, eyes glowing with hatred, unrestrained by reason. Every ounce of anger Bruce Banner ever suppressed, every scream, every moment of loss. The Hulk that destroyed the gods must now face himself. They collide like twin suns. Every impact tears through dimensions. Planets shatter like glass. Warp and reality merge. The warp storm Hulk roars. You think you end war. War is you. And Hulk, his voice heavy with pain, answers, maybe, but Hulk can change. They fight not for victory, but for identity. The monster of the past against the protector of the present. Each blow reshapes galaxies, bending physics and faith alike. On Terra, Guilliman watches from orbit as green light floods the void. He whispers, by the throne, he's fighting his own soul. The warp begins to unravel. If this battle continues, the fabric of reality itself will collapse. Then, amid the chaos, Hulk stops fighting. He opens his arms and lets the other strike. The warp storm Hulk punches through his chest, but instead of dying, Hulk embraces him. The storm howls, and then stills. The two Hulks merge, rage and peace, destruction and control, one being reborn. The galaxy watches the green light fade, leaving silence in its wake. The warp quiets, the void calms, and Hulk, no longer just a man, no longer just a monster, kneels upon a broken world. He looks up at the stars, whispers softly, Hulk finally, calm, but peace, even now, is fragile, because gods may die, but ideas never do. For 1,000 years after the warp storm faded, the galaxy lived in uneasy peace. Worlds rebuilt. The stars grew quiet. The name Hulk became legend. The green titan who ended chaos, who tamed war itself. But legends always cast long shadows, and in time, even gods become threats. On Terra, beneath the golden towers of the Imperial Palace, the High Lords convene in secret. They whisper of rebellion, of fear. The Emperor still sits upon the golden throne, silent but awake. His light burns steadier now, no longer fed by sacrifice. Yet he knows, the galaxy worships another. Hulk protects, the people chant, Hulk saved us. Even priests and soldiers now wear green ribbons beside their aquilus. Faith, once the Emperor's weapon, now belongs to another hand. And faith, when divided, breeds war. Guilliman, restored to strength, walks the halls of the palace. He has seen the green Imperium's cities, their peace, their order. But peace without obedience is a heresy the Imperium cannot bear. He kneels before the golden throne. Father, he says, if we let him rule unchallenged, humanity will forget you. The Emperor does not answer, not with words, but the Astronomicon flares with light, so bright it burns through the palace walls. Every astropath across the Imperium feels it, a single command, crusade. It begins at the edge of the segmentum solar. Fleets of Imperial ships gather, millions strong. Titans reawaken, their machine spirits howling hymns of vengeance. Astartes chapters, united under Guilliman's banner, prepare for war. The Emperor's voice guides them, faint but unmistakable. They call it the Last Crusade. Their target, the Green Imperium. Their goal, destroy the false god. Hulk senses it long before the first fleet jumps from Terra. He sits upon the ruins of a dead moon, his eyes closed, feeling the ripples in the cosmic current. When he opens them, the green glow of his aura dims. So, they choose war again. He stands taller now, the energy of both man and warp storm pulsing through him. Planets tremble beneath his rising power, but his voice, when he speaks, is soft. Hulk didn't want to fight, but if they bring war, Hulk will end it. Forever. Across the galaxy, humanity divides once more. Some follow Guilliman, loyal to the throne, bound by faith and fear. Others refuse to raise arms against the one who saved them. They march beneath a new symbol, a green fist holding a burning star. Two empires, one galaxy, and in the center, a god torn between peace and rage. The stars begin to darken once more, for in the 41st millennium, war always returns, and this time, it will decide not just the fate of mankind, but of the universe itself. The stars burn green and gold, Half the galaxy marches in Hulk's name, half bleeds for the Emperor. The air itself trembles with prophecy. This is not war, this is judgment. The last crusade begins at the rim of the Green Imperium, on the reforged world of Cadia, the birthplace of Hulk's new age. Once destroyed, now reborn through his will. Forests grow where trenches once cut deep. Cities rise without walls, without weapons. It is paradise, and it is where the Imperium chooses to strike. The void shatters as Terra's fleets descend, millions of ships blackening the stars. Their hymnals echo through the warp. For the Emperor, for humanity, for purity. Titans stride through the atmosphere like walking cathedrals, plasma cannons glowing like suns. Guilliman leads the charge, his armor reforged by the Mechanicus, bearing the Emperor's personal sigil. The first bombardment falls. Cadia's skies ignite, mountains vaporize. The ground itself screams, yet through the flames, a green figure walks. Hulk steps from the fire, every inch of his body wreathed in emerald light. His eyes are calm, not with peace, but with restraint. He looks to the heavens, to the incoming fleets, and whispers, "Why can't they just?" The second wave hits. Orbital lances pierce the surface. Entire battalions disintegrate. Then Hulk moves. He leaps from the planet, through the atmosphere, through orbit, and into space. He lands upon an Imperial battleship the size of a city, crushing its spine in one strike. The explosion lights the void like dawn. He tears through ship after ship, each motion a hurricane of unstoppable force. Astartes leap to meet him, brave, doomed, glorious. Their bolters flash like sparks before the sun. Their prayers die beneath the sound of his roar. Guilliman watches from his flagship. "This ends now," he says, voice steady, eyes burning with divine fury. The two meet on the shattered shell of Cadia's moon. The son of the Emperor and the god of green, the warrior of faith and the champion of fury. "Why, Guilliman?" Hulk asks, his voice echoing across space. "You see what peace can be." The Primarch tightens his grip on his sword, its blade glowing with the Emperor's psychic fire. "Peace without order is chaos reborn. You are too dangerous to live." For a moment, silence. Then war. Guilliman strikes with the precision of millennia, each blow guided by divine light. But Hulk moves like the storm, unpredictable, infinite. Steel meets flesh. Flesh breaks steel. The moon cracks beneath them, shockwaves split the void. Hulk's fist collides with Guilliman's blade. The sword shatters, energy erupts, tearing open the warp around them. Guilliman falls to one knee, his armor cracked, blood glowing like liquid gold. He looks up, defiant to the last. "Do it. End me." Hulk stares, and lowers his fist. "No more killing." He turns away, and that mercy breaks the galaxy more than any death could. Silence falls after the duel. Cadia's moon drifts in ruins, half vaporized, half frozen in orbit. The fleets stand still. Guilliman's armies kneel in disbelief. Their living legend defeated, yet spared. For the first time in 10,000 years, war halts. And in that stillness, a greater power awakens. On Terra, alarms scream across the Imperial Palace. The Astronomicon blazes like a newborn star. The Golden Throne trembles. The Mechanicus priests cry out in fear and reverence as blinding light floods the chamber. The Emperor of mankind rises. The armor that once bound his broken body reforms, reforged by will alone. His eyes ignite like twin novas, burning away the shadows of millennia. The throne's bindings snap, chains of gold and faith melting like wax. He steps forward, each stride shaking the crust of the world. Where his feet touch marble, fire blooms in the shape of wings. And across the galaxy, every psyker screams one name. He walks again. In orbit above Cadia, Hulk feels it. Not just power, but purpose. A presence vast enough to dwarf even his might. He looks up, and through the void, sees a golden light approaching, growing brighter with every heartbeat. The Emperor arrives not in a ship, but within a storm of his own creation. A spear of burning light, piercing the dark. He descends upon the fractured moon, landing amidst green fire and debris. The Hulk stands, eyes narrowed. The air between them hums, the power of gods colliding without a word. The Emperor speaks first. You have done what none could. You silenced the warp, broke the cycle, ended chaos. He pauses. But in doing so, you unmade balance. You turned men into children who worship strength instead of wisdom. You taught them peace through fear. Hulk's brow furrows. Hulk didn't want to rule. Hulk only wanted war to stop. And yet, the Emperor answers, you have become what I once was, the center of all belief. The galaxy no longer prays to me. They pray to you. The green giant lowers his gaze. Then take it back. The Emperor shakes his head. It cannot be given. It must be earned, as all power must. The void erupts. The Emperor moves first, a blur of light, striking with the weight of sun. Hulk meets him head-on, the impact detonating across systems. Planets crack, stars flicker, time itself stutters. The clash of will and flesh echoes across the galaxy. Faith against fury, God against God. The Emperor's golden sword meets Hulk's bare fists. Each blow births novas of psychic flame. Each strike tears open the veil between reality and memory. And then, both pause, exhausted, burning. The Emperor's voice softens. You are not my enemy, creature. You are my consequence. Hulk looks up, his voice quiet, heavy. Maybe Hulk is what you need to be. The Emperor smiles faintly, not in pride, but in sorrow. Perhaps. But humanity is not ready for a god they can touch. A flash of light. Two titans vanish. Only a crater remains. Green and gold light entwined, fading together. When the light fades, the galaxy holds its breath. No thunder follows. No divine fire. Just silence. The Emperor's golden aura is gone. The Hulk's green storm has vanished. Two gods erased from the stars as though they never were. And in their absence, the galaxy awakens to something it hasn't known in 40,000 years. Freedom. On Terra, the golden throne lies empty. Its glow extinguished. The ecclesiarchy collapses into chaos. Cardinals screaming prayers that find no answer. For the first time since the age of strife, the Astronomierkan is dark. Yet ships still navigate the void. No psychic beacon guides them. No god's hand holds their path. They move through instinct, through skill, through courage, as humanity once did. The Adeptus Mechanicus, deprived of divine authority, begin to question for the first time in millennia. Their chants falter, replaced by thought. Logic returns. Curiosity rekindles. A Magos whispers to another in the quiet of a forge. Perhaps the machine spirit was always us. Across the stars, the green Imperium shatters. Without Hulk, his symbol becomes legend. A myth, retold by those who saw him, or claim to. Some call him the Peacemaker, others, the Final Destroyer. And in time, his memory fractures into faith again. 1,000 interpretations of what he was. One world paints murals of him holding up the sky, saving life itself. Another carves statues of the Emperor standing beside him, the two gods sharing peace eternal. But most, they simply rebuild. No more orders, no more decrees. The galaxy for once belongs to its people. On Ultramar, Guilliman wakes. The wounds from his duel with Hulk still ache, glowing faintly where green and gold once met. He stands upon the balcony of the rebuilt fortress of Hera, watching stars flicker without divine light. His voice is low, thoughtful. Without gods, he says, we are forced to become men again. And for the first time in his immortal life, he smiles. Not with triumph, but with humility. In the outer reaches of space, far beyond imperial reach, a small world orbits a dying sun. Its surface is barren, cracked, and silent. But deep beneath the crust, in a cavern glowing faintly green and gold, something stirs. A heartbeat. Slow, steady. Two rhythms in perfect unison. The ground trembles. A hand, massive, scarred and human, presses through the stone. Energy crackles, not in rage, but in balance. Hulk's voice faint as wind across eternity. Hulk, not gone, just resting. And beside that voice, another, softer, older. Then rest, my friend, says the Emperor, for we have finally done what none could. Light fades again, and for a brief, precious moment, the galaxy sleeps peacefully, without gods, without war, without fear, without gods to guide them. Humanity stands alone once more, but instead of despair, something unexpected takes root. Curiosity. For the first time in 10,000 years, no voice commands the stars, no emperor, no chaos, no Hulk, only people, billions of fragile lives, trying to remember what it means to choose. In the ruins of Terra's ecclesiastical halls, scholars gather where priests once preached. They study history, not scripture. They debate truth, instead of worshipping it. One of them, a young woman named Lyra Caddick, finds fragments of Hulk's teachings carved into stone. Power not for control, power for peace. She does not bow, she reads, she learns, and she begins to teach others. Within decades, her followers spread across the segmentum solar. They call themselves the Seekers. Their creed is simple: no gods, no masters, only understanding. The Imperium, now fractured and ungoverned, slowly reforms around this new philosophy. 1,000 worlds rebuild themselves not through conquest, but through cooperation. Trade replaces tithes, science replaces superstition, and the word heresy fades from language itself. In the Green Imperium's surviving colonies, children grow up hearing two stories, one of the Golden Emperors who saved mankind from darkness, and one of the Green Titan who freed them from fear. They don't argue over which was real, they simply say, both were needed. These children learn to blend faith and logic, heart and will. They build starships powered not by warp energy, but by gravitational harmonics, technology once deemed heretical by the Mechanicus. They call these vessels harmony engines. For the first time since the dark age of technology, mankind sails the stars without the warp's corruption. On Macragga, Guilliman stands before a monument, not to war, but to peace. At its center are two statues, carved from opposing stone, one of a man cloaked in gold, the other of a giant of green. They do not face each other. They stand side by side, looking toward the stars. Guilliman places his gauntlet upon the base of the monument. He speaks softly, voice aged and human at last. They wanted to save us in their own ways, but salvation was never theirs to give. It was ours to find. 1,000 years have passed, empires fade, new civilizations rise, and though the names change, the light of both Hulk and Emperor lingers. In the night sky above a distant human colony, two stars burn side by side, one gold, one green. Children point upward and ask their elders what they mean, and the elders smile, answering, that was the day humanity stopped kneeling. The Milky Way sleeps in peace, but peace is never silent. It hums, a low song that travels farther than light, and across the void, that song is heard. Other galaxies stir, other civilizations listen. They hear whispers carried on cosmic radiation, stories of a golden god and a green giant who ended eternal war. They do not know the names Emperor or Hulk, but the tale reaches them all the same. In the Andromeda Galaxy, an empire of machine minds receives a transmission, a fragment of thought preserved in quantum light. It is Hulk's voice distorted by time. Hulk only wanted peace. The machine leaders analyze it for centuries. Eventually one unit speaks. If flesh could wish for peace through strength, then logic can too. The war between the machine dynasties ceases. The first interstellar treaty among artificial life is signed. Hulk's echo becomes their first law. Power must protect, never enslave. Far beyond, in a galaxy drowned by psionic storms, a race of beings who feed on emotion, taste something new, serenity born from fury. They meditate upon it for generations, learning to balance hunger with harmony. The storms are calm. Their world glows green beneath a sky reborn, and somewhere between stars, two lights drift, green and gold. orbiting one another like twin hearts. When their radiance touches new worlds, sentient life awakens faster, dreams deeper, evolves stronger. Histories begin not with gods but with memory. Every culture records the same myth. Two titans fought at the dawn of time. One sought order, one sought freedom. Both vanished, leaving balance behind. On a distant human colony at the edge of the Milky Way, a group of children train under an open sky. They move between ancient statues carved in marble, one of the Emperor, one of the Hulk. They are neither worshipped nor feared. They are reminders. Their instructor, an old woman with eyes bright as starlight, speaks. They say they died. She pauses, smiling faintly. But maybe they didn't. Maybe they just became part of everything, every breath, every thought, every act of courage. The children nod, not in reverence, but in understanding. Light years away, deep in a nebula that once was the Eye of Terror, faint energy pulses, green, gold, in perfect rhythm, as if the universe itself still remembers their heartbeat. The voice returns, older now, softer, echoing through dimensions. Hulk never wanted to be God. Hulk just wanted everyone to stop hurting. And another voice answers, proud, eternal. Then we did our duty well. The nebula flares, casting twin beams across the galactic rim, one emerald, one radiant white. Together, they merge into a soft, luminous hue, the color of harmony. The echo fades, the stars remain, and the universe keeps turning calm, balanced, alive. Eons pass, stars are born, burn, and die. Galaxies spiral into one another like dancers at the end of creation, and still, something watches, something waits. In the silence between universes, where matter dissolves into pure energy, two lights drift together, gold and green, the remnants of gods who refuse to be worshipped, the echoes of men who became myths. They have slept for an age, but even in the void, there is never true stillness. The cosmos itself begins to tremble. Reality quakes under a new storm. Beyond the dying edge of the Milky Way, something ancient awakens, older than chaos, older than time. It moves like thought, consuming light itself, a hunger that remembers no balance, no peace. The void entity. It is the last echo of the warp's rage, a shadow formed from all the hate that once ruled the galaxy. It has no shape, no voice, only intent to reclaim what the Titans took. And in its presence, stars begin to vanish. Whole systems collapse into darkness. Across realities, the twin lights feel the call. The golden one flickers first, a voice calm and commanding. Something rises, says the Emperor. His words ripple through the nothingness, like the pulse of creation itself. Then the green light roars softly, gentle and strong. Hulk feels it too, feels pain again. The Emperor's glow brightens. We ended the gods' war, but not the shadow they cast. It remembers us. Hulk's light swells, burning brighter than supernovas. Then we fight again. Together, the universe answers. From the shattered fabric of reality, forms begin to rebuild, not flesh, not metal, but essence. The golden light shapes itself into will. The green becomes raw strength, wrapped in peace. And together, they rise. At the edge of the void, the entity meets resistance. Two presences that defy entropy. The Emperor's voice rings like thunder through eternity. Order. Hulk's follows, rumbling through every particle. Life. Their powers merge, gold and green folding into one. The entity screams not in fear but in fury. It lashes out with the remnants of chaos, twisting galaxies into storms. But the Titans stand firm. Where once they fought each other, now they fight as one. The Emperor's mind focuses the energy. Hulk's strength anchors it. Together, they forge something new, a cosmic pulse that radiates through all dimensions. The void shatters. The entity dissolves, its hatred finally consumed by balance, and in its place blooms light, calm, eternal, unending. As the cosmos reforms, A single phrase echoes through the fabric of time: peace through strength, strength through compassion. The Emperor looks to his companion, his voice gentle. "We are no longer gods." Hulk smiles, "Vast and infinite. No, we're something better." And from that moment forward, they are remembered not as conquerors, but as the first guardians of eternity. After the storm, there is silence, not emptiness, but peace. The newborn cosmos glows with quiet fire, its galaxies forming like ripples in a calm pond. Across infinite space, the legacy of gold and green breathes life into new stars. Where once chaos screamed and the warp devoured, now harmony hums. Energy and matter coexist in balance, guided by unseen hands. Two presences woven into the fabric of reality itself. The Emperor watches from beyond dimension, his awareness diffused through a million suns. Wherever light burns, a spark of his will endures. He does not command, he observes. He ensures that order never becomes tyranny again. And Hulk is everywhere. Life takes its first breath, in the heartbeat of newborn worlds, in the pulse of growing forests, in the surge of magma beneath shifting crusts. He is no longer the destroyer or the savior. He is balanced, given form, the raw force of existence that pushes forward yet never dominates. Children born on new worlds grow up under skies that shimmer faintly green when storms pass. Their elders say, "The great strength watches, not to strike but to keep the world whole." In the distant eons to come, countless civilizations rise. They build temples not of stone but of thought, places of learning and unity. Every species knows the two lights, the golden flame of reason, the emerald heart of life. They are opposites, yet inseparable: will and compassion, order and freedom, the twin pillars that hold the universe steady. When disputes arise between worlds, leaders meditate under the glow of twin stars, invoking the Harmony Code, a set of principles inspired by the legends of the Titans: to create without greed, to protect without dominance, to grow without corruption. And though none remember their names, the spirit of the Emperor and Hulk lives on in every act of courage, mercy and restraint. But not all is still. Even in balance, there is motion, a rhythm to eternity. In the deep void between galaxies, a shimmer appears, not darkness this time, but potential. It is the echo of new universes forming, each singing its own song. From their vantage beyond existence, the two Titans watch, their forms now vast, composed of energy, memory, and purpose. They no longer speak in words, but in thoughts that shape entire realities. The Emperor's essence hums like sunlight on steel. We were born from chaos, to learn balance. Hulk's presence rumbles like the heartbeat of a star. Balance means never stopping, always becoming. Together, their light flows into the newborn voids, seeding creation with the lessons of strength and mercy. And so, across every new cosmos that blooms, golden dawns and green auroras mark the birth of worlds. The cycle continues, not under gods, but under guardians who chose peace. Time becomes meaningless. 1,000 trillion years drift past, like dust in the cosmic wind. Galaxies fade, stars burn out one by one, until only faint embers remain in a sea of cooling dark. Life, once countless, becomes rare, flickers of consciousness surviving in sheltered pockets of space. Even those too begin to vanish. Yet two lights endure: gold, green, the Emperor, and the Hulk. No longer beings, but the essence of purpose itself. They have watched creation rise and fall, countless civilizations bloom and die. They have guided, guarded, and given everything. And now, they stand together at the edge of the last universe, where space ends, and the next might begin. The Emperor speaks first, his voice woven from starlight and memory. It is time. Hulk gazes upon the dim stars, his vast form flickering with quiet sadness. Hulk thought peace would last forever. It did. The Emperor replies softly, "Forever just isn't as long as we hoped." They both laugh, the kind of laughter that echoes through existence, not from joy or sorrow, but from understanding. Below them, the last living world turns, a small, fragile sphere orbiting the final burning sun. On its surface, a dying civilization gathers around a great monument. Twin statues rise above the fading landscape, one golden, one green, carved by hands that never knew their true faces. The people below whisper prayers, not for salvation, but for gratitude. Their words drift upward like glowing embers, reaching the titans who listen in silence. Hulk closes his eyes. They remember. The Emperor nods, and that is enough. The final star trembles. Its light grows thin, collapsing into itself. Entropy calls, patient, inevitable. But the titans do not resist. Instead, they look at each other, and for the last time, they choose. If this is the end, Hulk says, then let's make it a beginning. Agreed, the Emperor answers. Once more, together, they extend their hands, energy merging, gold and green entwining in a spiral of creation. From their unity bursts a brilliance that pierces the dark, brighter than any sun, purer than any flame. The universe shudders, dying stars reigniting in the shockwave of rebirth. Matter unravels, reshapes, reawakens. From the ashes of the last cosmos, a new one blooms, infinite and young, filled with endless possibility. And within its first light, two familiar hues swirl together, emerald and gold, the spark of compassion and order, forever bound. No one remembers their names, but in every new world born from that light, beings will one day look to the heavens and feel something stir within them, a whisper across eternity. Be strong, be kind. That is the message that survives when even gods fade. That is the final legacy of the Hulk and the Emperor. The last light fades, the new dawn rises, and eternity begins again.